first of all, you're going to take the instrument and you're going to sit. And then you're going to turn the instrument so the strings face you, and you're going to hold it between your knees because you want both hands free. Now, the other thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that the adjuster in the tailpiece is unscrewed quite a bit, because we're going to get to the general pitch that we want and then tune up to it with the adjuster. So I'm going to do the E string. So if you have to do the E string with the peg, please keep in mind that violin strings are very high tension, much more so than guitar, if you have any experience with those, and they do tend to break if you go much past the pitch that they're meant to be at. So proceed with caution. If you break a string, you break a string. It happens. It won't damage the violin if you break a string, but it can be a bit of a loud bang when you do it. Sort of like popping a balloon. Okay, say you have to do the E string because the E string has gone totally loose or something. Your general rule about tuning with the pegs is you always want to loosen before you tighten. So do loosen the peg until the string is pretty loose. Okay, so I'm plucking my string. There's not much sound coming out because it's totally loose. I have undone the adjuster. Now, what you're going to do, so the violin's between your knees. Now the E string peg is the lower right peg, so you're going to take your right hand and you're going to use that to turn the peg, and you're going to use your left hand on the side of the violin, on the neck, just like this, and you're going to use your thumb to pluck the string because we want to hear the pitch as we're trying to tune. We want to be plucking continuously. Now, when you start to get close, I'm pretty close. I'm around, I don't know, a C sharp or something. Now that I'm pretty close, at this point, this is going to be when you want to start pushing into the peg box. So you can do that by pushing in. Now, if you just push in without turning, for a lot of student violins, it's going to slip again. Okay, so keep plucking. Sometimes I put my hand a little bit more like this, so that I can reach over and pluck the E string, so that I can push in. The peg is more likely to stay if you're pushing in while you turn. Okay? So the important thing is that you're continuously plucking. Let's do that again. So I'm going to loosen the E string. It's totally loose. The adjuster has been unscrewed. If the adjuster comes all the way out, you've unscrewed it too much. So just make sure that's nice and loose, and so that it's got a lot of room to screw back in. And please take note, some adjusters don't work, especially in student instruments. And if you're not sure if the adjuster is working, you can look underneath and just make sure that it's pushing down the lever. So sometimes the screw will slip to the side and won't push the lever down in the mechanism, and in that case the adjuster won't work. So you have to use the pegs. Okay, so I'm going to tune up. So I'm tightening the peg. So you got to make the string tighter. So I'm plucking continuously. Now I'm pushing in as I'm doing it, so I'm bracing against the side. Now I'm going to get pretty close to an E. I'm still pushing in. Okay, so I'm a little bit below. If you can get it about this close to like an E flat or something, then you can tighten the adjuster to get it on. And now I'm pretty good. If you're doing a string on the left side, so say we're doing the D string. So I'm going to do the same procedure. So loosen your adjuster on the D string. Okay, the D string peg is top left, so my right hand is going to be on the side of the neck, so I can reach over and pluck. My string is nice and loose now. Make sure as you're doing this that the string is fitting in the groove on the bridge. There's a groove in the bridge and there's a groove in the nut, so we'll make sure that the string is fitting into those. So now I'm going to tighten the string back up, plucking continuously. Right, so now where I'm close, I've been pushing in to the side. Please note, in general, these a lot of pegs on student violins, If you stop turning and just kind of try to wedge it in there, they won't stick. I'm finding that a lot of people need to be turning and simultaneously pushing in when they get close. And of course, it's very frustrating tuning an instrument with bad pegs because they'll slip and then you have to start all over again. And this may happen several times. And that's perfectly normal. And honestly, if you haven't been playing violin seriously for several years, it's quite difficult to do. So hang in there. We're all trying our best. All right, we're all trying our best. So remember, always loosen before you tighten, okay? And if you can, try to get close with the adjuster so that you don't risk breaking a string. Good luck.